Hello and
Money's a little
welcome,
tight.
everybody,
Hello.
to the stream. As you can see, I have a very uncomfortable guest with me. He's not happy with the fact that I have him sitting on my lap. Of course, he's not exactly happy with being on the chair either. No,
hmm
no, you had to behave. No, no, you look at the camera, buddy. I need you to look at the camera. You okay?
He just kind of wumped on the floor
Yeah, you do that.
like a potato. Just
Are you a potato, Toby? Are you a potato?
patobi. He is a
Yeah,
patobi. I love him.
Toby.
hmm
Are you a Toby? Come here.
Redeem patobi pets.
Patobi pets. He is a
hmm
Patobi.
And
Patobi
so
pets have
far,
been redeemed.
yeah, got Juan.
Juan.
hmm
Juan Toby pet.
hmm
Right? Right, Toby? We have Juan Toby pet. Juan. Look at yeah.
Look at the
Say
people.
hi. Say hi. Hi. He's like, not like that. You smile. Pretty boy. All right, so hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. I know we're a few minutes late. We'll deal with that as it comes around. I
hmm
finally got the reviews in from the people that I wanted the responses for on the honest trailer for uh, my dress up darling. I would have liked to have gotten that out this weekend, but there's no way waiting on everything. And then on top of that, not having the episodes available, that doesn't help. So
Does that
we're
also stream on Crunchyroll too, or is that on
yeah,
something different?
my dress up
Okay,
darling is
gotcha.
also on Crunchyroll, Crunchyroll and
That's right.
Funimation.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right. They're combined. I
I
forget.
did confirm that it was on Funimation. Yeah, pardon me. I did confirm that it was on Funimation before jumping in through all this stuff. So
hmm
that having been said, uh, that is going to be moving forward. Sometime later this week, we will actually start recording some of the slime stuff. Just gotta get with Ray about that. It's a Monday, and yesterday was a
Yeah.
holiday. So
hmm
hope everybody had a wonderful Sunday or a Zombie Jesus Day if you celebrate that.
Or egg.
Or Egg Day. I did send a message to Calvin, and he replied with a spit take gif. I said, "Man, Menu is such a hard ass. He made Jesus wait 3 days before he could respawn."
Good.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so there you go. Yep.
hmm
So
Yes, yes, yes.
that is my one joke. Uh, pointed at the holiday, and that will be all of it. Everybody else, I'm sure, will be making lots of rabbit jokes throughout. I've seen my weight, so my fat ass weight. So yeah, I'm gonna need to do exercises. Remember, gonna be 40 at a time every time it comes around. Don't give me 50 at once. I'm old. It's not gonna happen. It'll carry over into the next one, but like there's gonna be at least a 20 to 30-minute break in between certain exercises if I get a lot of them all at once. So just have I seen Moon Knight yet? I have
Nope,
watched the
not
first
yet.
I have watched the first 3 episodes. I am not impressed.
Oh,
I
that's a bummer.
it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's like I'll say this. It's better than the Eternals. But that's
I
me
haven't seen
saying
the
that it's
Eternals, so
better than but that's me saying that it's better than the worst MCU film.
Thor
Which
2.
no, Eternals is
Oh, actually, yeah, Thor 2 is not
if you
that bad.
haven't seen
I don't know.
Eternals, you'll change your opinion on that. But yeah,
Fair.
Eternals not that great.
Mm. Which is a bummer because the trailer looked really cool, but trailer doesn't say everything, so.
I That's also true. But then again, I'm also comparing it to like other MCU movies that came out last year, like
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and
Yeah, that was cool.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. Yeah.
which was it's unfair to compare a lot of the MCU to Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, holy shit, dude.
Is their budget like collective, or do they just give it to the directors as needed? Because
Uh,
like it always seems like some of them have a little bit more budget to spend than others. Like between Infinity War and
oh,
Endgame with like Captain Marvel, I felt like that movie suffered a bit of a budget drop. I don't know how much, but it felt like it did. So I don't know. Like you could feel it, especially compared to like the quality of the stuff from before and like that. I don't know. It might just been me though.
no
So
idea, dude. But
yeah.
we have finally
Mhm.
made it to chapter 2
Mhm.
of volume 6 of Slime. So we have more meetings to read through. If you thought the meetings were crazy in the anime, just wait till you read
Ooh, buddy.
them. Oh boy, wait till you read them.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we've got happy news for everybody. Calvin will be joining us once again today, so
Yeah.
we will have our Ranga back.
Mhm.
That having been said, I think we're good on all the announcements we've got.
Mhm.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, I like to do it when I think that you might least expect it, so I can just throw you
Yeah,
off.
you got me
Yeah,
pretty good
yeah, okay.
because I have to like immediately doing it.
Yeah. I just keep us all calm and then suddenly
Mhm.
jump into ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. Yeah,
You know, if somebody actually pulls that off somewhere, my muscle memory will just kick in and I'll just freak out right then and there, and then
Do
I
you
have to be like, "Oh,
realize
wait."
how much I would do that for uh
Huh.
for a panel? I just show up with the slime light novel and
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the slime light novels. And first off, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, open your holy books of Rimuruism to page, such and such.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so fun. I would do that as the panel
It'd be really easy
so
to
much.
find me too. It's like you can't find me out in the audience, like, "Hey, where's Shem? Hold on a sec." "Ladies and gen," and you just see this dude, like, 50 feet away do, like, this no, oh, there he is. We
I
found him.
would have to make sure. I would have to make sure. Like if I ever lost
Mhm.
Shim in a crowd, I know what to do.
Hopefully, I don't, like, hurt, like, 20 people on the way over.
I mean, it's their fault for being too close.
That's
So
true. Just ladies and pack, pack,
it's
pack.
it's like a one man mosh pit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
That'd be
start,
an interesting to happen at a con.
are you at a con with
Mhm.
Shim and you can't find him? Just go, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation.
Yep. Then monkey brain will activate and my
Monkey.
body will react well on my
Monkey.
own. Yeah. Monkey.
Monkey.
Mhm.
I love that. I'm gonna have to try that with you sometime. Like, be at a
The
convention.
Pavlovian response. See, if you give me, like, food every time you do it too, then my body will actually start, like, conditioning itself.
Conditioned with positive reinforcement. All
Mhm.
right, so it is actually the beginning of chapter 2, but if you're an asshole and you actually need the specific page on the physical version, it's
Yes.
85.
Mhm. 87 on the digital, so just a couple of pages ahead.
Yeah, there we
So,
go. All right,
but it's the double column, so
so
alright.
I've got a couple of things I need to finish up doing. So if you would take it
Mhm.
from here, Shem,
Yeah, no problem. I'll
start
go
us
ahead and
off.
start.
Start us off, Deacon Shem.
You got
Where's the?
it. This chapter 2, Word from Ramirez. Just as the summit was winding down and I felt it was time to wrap things up, blam! The doors flew open as someone stormed in. I heard all that! Tempest shall fall to ruin! There was a tiny winged girl, and while it was hard to believe from looks, it was Ramirez of the Labyrinth, one of the world's 10 demon lords. I wasn't exactly sure how to take this. Should I open my eyes wide and go, What was that?" I didn't have much time to react because Ramirez was flying straight for me, while Beretta was kindly closing the front door behind her. Long suffering is the way I describe that demon's body language, and I bet I was right. Getting bossed around by Ramirez all day would do that to anyone. Now Diablo was standing in front of her, dressed to the nines in his butlery outfit. He had been stationed behind me, quietly listening to the proceedings, but he wasn't willing to let this interloper barge in, and really, he made capturing Ramirez look as easy as grabbing a dragonfly out of the air. Hey! She shouted, flailing around. "What are you doing to me? I just love her. She doesn't act the part of a demon lord one bit, and it's just adorable. Some pictures. Sir Rimuru, Diablo said, walking back to me. I have captured an intruder. What shall we do with her? She raved about this town falling to ruin. But how should we address this insolence? I looked at Ramirez. She was batting her wings helplessly, trying to escape Diablo's grasp. Yeah, I'm using my full magic force, and I still can't escape him? This this can't be any kind of regular bodyguard. Who are you? What did I ever do to you? She never was very quiet, and no offense, but given the incomparable difference in power, I didn't think Diablo would lose her anytime soon. And this was a demon lord? See, this is why I sometimes wonder if being a demon lord is anything special at all. Do you know this fairy? Oh, wait. Do you know this fairy, Sir Rimuru? Fuse asked. Oh, right. We were in the middle of a summit. Right towards the end, in fact. If she had only come in a couple minutes later, she never was good at taking social cues. Oh, like that either. Oh, Godfrey was redeemed. Uh, yeah, I do. This is Ramirez, and she might not show it, but I guess she's a demon lord too. Hey, what do you mean I don't show it? I am feared as the strongest out of all 10 demon lords, I'll have you know. She flashed me the most arrogant smile possible, still stuck in Diablo's grasp and oblivious to how non threatening she looked. The audience was nonplussed. A few giving comments like, huh, a demon lord, and someone like that? What? Like, what? Come on. What's your problem? You're supposed to act more surprised. I'm kind of a demon lord, guys. Ramirez of the Labyrinth in the flesh, all right? Why is everyone acting so uninterested? I mean, demon lord or not, you're kind of caught between two fingers right now. If I had to guess, everyone thinks you must be some kind of poser, you know? I'm too kind to actually voice this, of course, but, well, as a demon lord himself, it's only fair that Sir Rimuru would be acquainted with other demon lords, I suppose. Oh wait, no, that's someone else. If anything, the Storm Dragon's resurrection was such a shock. I don't think anyone or anything could surprise me at this point. Our audience was nodding at one another. I suppose that makes sense, actually. Ramirez, on the other hand, was less than satisfied with that. Huh? The Storm Dragon? Veldora's been revived? You guys are being tricked. I beat Veldora into the ground with a single punch. That guy was all roar, no bite. Besides, his era is over now. If you want someone to fear, you can start being horrified around my presence today. She punctuated this with a high, haughty laugh. If anything, she had an even bigger mouth than Veldora. I had Diablo hand her over to me and took her to see him. Veldora, you mind entertaining this girl for me? She's a demon lord too, more or less. So maybe she'll want to be friends with you. Hmm? I am busy unraveling a grand riddle at the moment. I didn't have time for this, his sulking. Oh, that manga? The murderer was redacted. You're good now, right? Thanks. Without bout of mercilessness, I returned to my seat. Veldora looked shocked, eyes wide open. Maybe it wasn't the nicest thing to do, but we're in the middle of a summit. I wanted him to think about his actions a little, not let him do whatever he wants. Besides, the sight of Eldora had already made Ramirez faint on the spot. Two problem children taken care of in one stroke. Some solid parenting. Excuse me. So, wrapping up, I wanted to go over everything we had to do. Benimaru, our next target is Clayman. I want him taken down. Just what I wanted to hear. Benimaru gave me a fearless smile, flames dancing eerily in his eyes. The rest of the Tempestians in the audience were similarly elated. I guess they'd all become would-be warriors over time. Didn't they all just have a huge battle in town a few days ago? Ah, well, high morale's never a bad thing. As for the three Beastketeers and the Beastmen under them, no need to say it, Alvis growled. We are under your command, Surimaru. Phobia and Sufia seemed just as enthused. I shouldn't have bothered asking. And you think you can beat him with this team, Rimuru? I will. He's riled me. Oh, this is Gazo. And you think you can beat him with this team, Rimuru? I will. He's riled me. I see. Gazo gave me a wry grin. I will trust in your word then. In a smaller voice than I figured only I could hear. Here I thought you were my junior training partner. You've grown far too much. But I do believe you can afford to think lightly of Clayman. Oh, yeah. But I do not believe you can afford to think lightly of Clayman, observed a
Look
concerned
at him
Herald.
staring at. Look at him stare. Oh
Keen.
my God, that's
There he
great.
is.
I
He's
love the background.
returned.
Hold on, hold on. You want to see something? You want to
Hmm.
see something kind of adorable?
What's up?
Oh gosh.
Oh, that was kind of adorable.
Play a little tug of war.
Yeah, Pocky Gaming, Toby.
Yeah. He gives kisses.
Yeah,
Yes, he
Kisu.
does. He gives kisses.
Toby gives two.
So once again,
Hi, Calvin.
we are joined by Sir Ranga,
Mhm. It's good to see you again.
founder of
Ooh,
the Tempest Faith.
ooh. He's a
The
very good
Tempest,
boy.
the Tempest Faithful, or as they like to call themselves, Rimaruists. It's like
Yeah.
if Buddhists worship cookies. You know,
I guess it kind of do, but
you don't walk into
uh,
public and set yourself on fire. You dump a bunch of Oreo cream,
ooh. I mean, that
and
sounds
then the
pretty
dire
nice.
wolves have to lick it off, or the Tempest wolves.
Ah,
That's
is
the
it like
pain. That's the pain you have to suffer through.
yeah?
Those because you know those tugs. While they're not serrated, they're not comfy. You know they have
No,
to groom themselves.
yeah.
So
So
if you've ever
might
had
be
a
a
dog's tongue lick you, it's like it's cute, but it's not exactly soft. It's not like a
no.
yeah.
It's got texture, so it's like
It's like wet sandpaper.
yeah, exactly. It's like yeah, ooh,
I hate
oh,
sand. It's coarse and it's rough
it's
and it
rough.
gets
Ooh.
everywhere.
Yeah, not like here. It's
Oh
soft and
God.
smooth.
Oh God, did you do
Uh,
Godfried?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. You
Yeah.
fool!
Some people asking me why you gotta be all Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, it's just oh, I was so bummed out when I heard about him. I was like,
Somebody did ask me if
mm,
we were gonna keep Godfried, and I said, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna honor the
yeah,
man."
dude. Yeah, dude. Fucking
Of course
Gottfried is
we
cool.
have to. It's Gilbert Gottfried.
In fact,
Of course we do.
if you guys don't redeem Godfried every time someone new is reading, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, it's only respectful. Plus, that dude was so
All
cool.
right, if you redeemed it
Uh,
on Shem, then when it comes my
mhm.
turn to read, somebody better redeem Godfried. When it comes Calvin's
Yeah,
turn to read, somebody better redeem Godfried. And if Char shows up, somebody better redeem Godfried for her.
if they won't, I will. I got points.
All of us do.
Let's see.
Good evening,
Yeah.
Yep.
Ari. All right,
Hello.
let's get
Yeah,
back to
right.
it. Sorry we
All right.
interrupted you.
All good. But I do not believe you can afford to think lightly of Clayman, observed a concerned herald. He holds sway over a vast army of Magicborn, and rumors tell of the close connections with the Eastern Empire. That doesn't matter. War is about quality, not quantity. Heavens, I think I can hear my common sense collapsing as we speak. It was indeed totally lacking in common sense, but it was enough to quiet him. I could tell he was interested in what I had now. I knew it was crazy too, but I also knew I was right. The larger army usually wins the battle, but that didn't apply to this world. The Orc Lord was a good example of that. As long as you can decapitate the leader, it was always the more adept fighters that dictated the results. Besides, this time we didn't lose out on numbers either. I had to cut it out from the summit for brevity, but Soe had already briefed me on Clayman's movements. Soe was still pinning down an exact number, but they were moving sluggishly and still stuck inside Millam's domain. His replication would be back here soon enough, and I could save my final decision for then. That, excuse me, so that strategic meeting could come later. But for now, we needed to make sure he had the script down for conquering Farmus. We'd release the king, then have the Marquis of Muller and Count Hellman pursue his blame, beseeching him to take responsibility for his failure. Depending on how he reacted, Yom would then spring into action. Regarding any actual war with them, that will be our issue to tackle. For now, I want all of you to trust in me and leave Farmus for us to worry about. It shouldn't be long before I'll ask you to help us make Yeoman to the champion king of a new generation. The audience nodded their approval. When it came to human affairs, we'd make a lot fewer mistakes relying on them instead of trying to go at it alone. I was looking forward to their support. Now, Fuse, I want you to contact Muller and Hellman confidentially. Sure thing, he replied. Again, we'd likely work out the details in a later meeting, but we had a plan of action now. First, we'd portray things so it was Yom and his forces reclaiming the king from us. We'd then have the Marquis of Muller put the king under his protection, providing backup for Yom the whole way. And about those three POWs, actually. By the way, Shion, how are those three dealing with your questioning? Did they give us anything useful? I had forgotten about that. It didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but I had left our prisoners in the care of Shion this whole time. Of course they did, Sir Rimuru. Ooh, someone
Okay,
sure is confident.
okay.
What's
I
up?
think we skipped way further ahead than I was expecting.
What do you? What?
Okay, so about those three prisoners. There's King Edmure. No, okay, so we're not quite there yet. I don't know where
No,
we
not
are.
yet. Uh,
Okay,
is it the wave
Page
that?
90.
Hold on.
page
Yeah,
90?
page
Okay.
91 in the digital.
Digital, so probably page 89
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
Page
probably just a
90.
little bit before. Yeah.
I have the book.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, page 90. That's
Hmm.
where we're at. Okay. I was fixing to say, I was like, holy cow. All right, well, when we get to 95,
Hmm.
which scared me for a second
Excuse me.
because I was like, oh, I don't see POWs on any of these pages. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, and about this POW. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. It's easy to get lost.
Please continue. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Ooh.
oh,
Someone
oh,
sure is confident.
oh.
Ooh.
There's a potato that makes that noise in Phasmophobia.
Good.
Yeah, if you open one of
Oh.
the drawers in the kitchen of the tutorial house,
Uh
there's a
huh.
potato in there, and when you touch it, pick it up, mess with it, drop it, it goes,
Hmm.
oh.
Ooh, that's amazing. I love it.
They added another thing. There are
Oh.
Easter eggs now to collect
Ooh.
in Phasmophobia, and if you collect all of them on a map, you instantly regain all of your sanity, so you're back to 100% sanity.
Hey, that's fun. That's cool. So it
Yeah,
gives you incentive to go do it.
yeah.
Uh, I turned towards Yom and Murin, who were supposed to be present during all the questioning. They awkwardly turned their eyes away. Um, Yom began.
Could one of
Yeah,
my mods, could one of the mods in chat please tally up the exercises for me real quick?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a bit.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, questioning? Interrogation? Either way, they talked a lot, pal. That they did, agreed Murin. But that was no questioning. It was something surreal. I'm not sure you could even call it an interrogation. I
She's
really
actually
don't
kind
want to
of
hear anything else. Huh?
she's actually kind of like scared of what she saw, so it's not
Oh,
like
okay, so she's
so
more
she's
like,
not
that they did.
it's like that they did? Yeah, so definitely
Okay,
more
so more like
like
awkward, like,
like
oh,
she's
fuck.
got PTSD just from viewing
Okay,
this.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
That they did,
Let
agreed
me just
Mirren.
state it a specific
Uh,
way. All right.
yeah.
Where there once were three people looking things, there is now a puddle of like pixeled out human parts.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right, so, like, it was horrible. Alright,
Oh yeah. Like
that's right,
when they
that's right.
move them to
Mhm.
farm us again,
Yeah, it was
they
all
have to
like
cart them off in boxes.
mhm. So it's like,
They had to put them in a little filter box. And
"We're
then
sending you all to your mamas in a box." That's
the
basically
scary
what it
thing
was,
is
huh?
they're still
Yeah.
alive.
Aw.
It as a
That is a fate
pixelated
worse than
mess
death.
of human pieces, they're still alive and can very much feel all of that pain.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Yeah, that
it's
was
that's not a good
disturbing.
yeah, so
yeah.
that's not a good tone of voice
Oh
for that. Okay, I'll
no.
definitely voice her as if I saw somebody liquefy in front of me and get beaten to a fucking bloody pulp.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Worst part was they were shipped in coach and not first class. Yeah, it was bumpy.
Yeah. Ooh.
And to prove a
Yeah.
point, and to prove a point, Diablo did not restore the king until he was already on the throne and they were having the meeting with the nobles, so all of the nobles got to see the king in that box in that state.
It's just a little flex. Just a little bit.
And then they brought over a Rimuru potion and poof,
And then he was fine. Well,
he
kinda.
was brought back to what he was physically.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
physically restored.
Ain't no fixing
They
the
used
mental aspect.
Spirit Airlines for delivery.
That's how you know.
Oh
Oh.
shit!
That's how you know it was that
Oh
bad.
man, that's bad. That is
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. Ooh.
Alrighty. Well,
All right.
with that happy news out of
Yeah,
the
with
way,
that, yeah,
nobody has
that
tallied this up. Really? Okay.
that that they did, agreed Mirren. But that was no questioning. It was something surreal. I'm not sure you could even call it interrogation. I really don't want to hear anything else, thanks. Shion overdid it, no doubt about it. But then I let her. It'd be unreasonable for me to complain about it, and I had no intention to. If I wanted to stop her violent rage, I guess I was cooped up in the cave and beyond contact range anyway. In a way, it's my fault for not being there. Let's just assume I never noticed. Sorry,
Mm.
people of Farmus, but then again, you guys struck first. Hopefully, you'll consider yourself lucky for surviving at all. I mean, maybe. Either way, we had three prisoners in custody, and following Shion's questioning, they seemed fairly willing to talk. First off, Shion began, Ed Noyel Ed King Amaris? Whispered Shuna into her ear. Thanks for that. But really, Shion? You couldn't even come up with the king's name? I know it's kind of a weird one, but King Admaris had apparently made contact with a merchant who had brought him silken fabrics from our nation and whetted his appetite for conquest. The king
I
also feared that the trade was wait,
I
what?
love that when they're in the anime doing this scene, Shirohan
Mhm.
has this little journal in her hand and she's looking at it.
It's like
Like she has notes from the interrogation, and it's literally when you look at it, just a bunch of doodles of Rimuru.
it's good.
She didn't take. She didn't write down a single thing.
Dude, come
Also,
on, that's
Ari,
not her
say
style.
hello. Ari,
Hello,
say hello
hello,
in the chat. Ari, say hello. Hello. There
hi,
we go. Hi, congrats on being a mod.
yeah,
Nice.
So I'm gonna need you to
yeah,
start. I'm gonna need you to start tallying up those exercises.
good stuff.
Now that you're a mod, I gotta put you to work. It's your fault for being reliable, dependable, not an asshole, and also like somebody that shows up here a lot. She's like,
Mhm.
what the fuck? And I'm like, just remember, menu
Mhm.
giveth and menu taketh away.
It's true. He eateth and then he yoinketh. There
uh,
was a
eventually, it's gonna come out as like, we practice Reveruism here. Yeah, we eat our enemies.
let it be known that I too am, in fact, an ass.
Why? I am too an ass. How dare you? And I'm like, yeah, but you're not like a power tripping ass. So
You're a reliable ass.
you're a
Yeah.
reliable ass, and that is the last we will talk about your ass before your husband kicks ours.
Well, you guys I didn't say anything about that. I wasn't being cheeky.
We shall talk about this ass no more. Don't care.
Donkey
Ogres
and
have
monkey.
layers.
All
And
right,
monkey.
we're before we're talking about donkey and monkey. We're
Ogres have
okay.
layers.
Yes, they do. They
Slimes
stink. Yes. No.
have layers. But they're like, yeah,
Ogre
Reveruism,
mages have layers.
it's all about cannibalism. And they're
Yeah.
like, are you sure it's Reveruism? Yeah, it kind of sounds more like Kirbyists. You
Blurs the
know?
line
Eat
sometimes.
your powers to gain. I eat you to gain your powers. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's like vampirism with
Uh,
extra steps.
yeah, kind of.
Sometimes you have to cook your food.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Oh, anyway, King Amaris had
Anyway.
apparently made contact with a merchant, one who brought him silken fabrics from our nation and whetted his appetite for conquest. The king also feared that trade would drift over to our nation in the future, which also led to those moves on his part. Shion's rundown continued, the content of which didn't surprise me much. The only thing it made me wonder about was whether that merchant deliberately spurred Admaris into action. Do we know who this merchant is? Some black market dealer? I apologize, my lord. That much we do not know. She looked so sad about it that I felt the need to hurriedly console her. Oh, she was sad about that. I apologize, my lord. That much we do not know. She looked so sad about it, and I felt the need to hurriedly console her. The question wasn't that important anyway. Let's switch subjects to Bishop Raham. That's fine. What about the church? Ah, yes, he revealed who was pushing him behind the scenes. The name was. It's a long one, Shion. You think you got that one remembered at all? The core of it all was Cardinal Nikolai Speltis. Oh, that's Miran. The core of it all was Cardinal Nikolai Speltis, Miran said after Shion shot her a pleading look. Shion was great at extracting information from people, but anything else? Forget it. She had some kind of mental block keeping her from remembering proper names. Better give her some other assignment next time.
God damn
Good
it,
thing Miran
Ryuma.
was around. Wait, what? What?
Ryuma. The merchant went under the fake name These Nuts.
Yep, it's a good name.
Nice isn't the problem.
Uh, Good thing Miran was around. I can't really expect much in the critical analysis department from Yom either, so she no doubt provided some handy backup. According to her, Nikolai stated that they planned to take us all down, as a nation clearly against the will of their god. Planned to, anyway. I see, Fuse muttered.
Stupid
So,
Luminous
Archbishop,
worshipping Eminem, the rap god.
the crap god.
The rap god.
Yeah. I see, Fuse muttered. So, Archbishop Raham wanted all the glory of defeating a godless enemy so he could earn extra clout with the central authorities? Everyone seemed to agree on this. Either way, we still have some wiggle room. The Western Holy Church hasn't made a definitive decision yet. Perhaps there's a way to negotiate ourselves out of being designated hostile. Um, maybe. In that case, Fuse said, let me handle that. His approach involved taking advantage of the Council's presence. They would release a statement declaring that the nation of Tempest should be recognized, putting pressure on the church to act.
Statement.
Appealing to the Council. Wait, hold on.
You said the statement. I was like, why did he elongate mint?
I lost my track of, or I lost my train of thought on the
okay.
word.
I was like,
wait,
I was
what
like,
happened?
wow, he
because
really
like
likes mints today.
no, because the page refreshed and I was like, oh god, please.
Dear Lord.
Oh.
Dear
So,
Lord, no.
yeah. Appealing to the council would also place the spotlight further on Tempest as a waypoint along a series of new trade routes. The fact that monsters lived there was an issue, but they were all both kind to strangers and fully capable of speech. If anything, they'd gladly be your friend.
Because they're dumb to kind animals. I mean, kind to dumb animals.
I mean, yeah. But they're friendly. They're very nice and they're cool.
Kind to dumb animals.
And they'll rip your skin off if you burn your flesh if you do anything bad.
It's called flaying.
Yeah, that's true. They'll evaporate your bones, man. That much, of course, we had already proven. Or really, we'd made it happen through all this astonishing evolution. In so many words, our aim was to earn treatment from the humans similar to what dwarves, elves, and other demi-human races enjoyed. King Gazel would back us up as well, keeping up a lively trade relationship with us and advertising the benefits of Tempest with more energy than ever. This, I imagined, would likely not be enough to make the Western Holy Church abandon their core tenets. But Dworgen and Blumend already had formal trade relations with Tempest. Not even the church had the kind of power to annul those agreements. And with us having such deep ties with a small group of human nations like this, other countries were bound to grow curious soon. Plus, we now had the sorceress dynasty of Thalion declaring their allegiance. That put even more pressure on the church to settle matters. Not that this is for me to say, Fuse added, but recognizing Tempest is a double edged sword. We all need to be careful to make sure we don't accidentally stab ourselves in the process. He was right. Blumen was in the tightest spot or out of all of them. Dworgen and Thalion were essentially beyond the range of Holy Church influence. Both were powerful enough that they could give the United Western nations a run for their money. Blumend, meanwhile, was a blip, all too susceptible to pressure from outside its borders. Except all that was a thing of the past. Fuse, what? Oh, this is Gazel. Fuse, was it? No need to fret. We dwarves can make runs through Tempest to access your markets as well, and with the stronger position that will put your nation in, the Council will find it prudent to tread lightly with you. Gazel's right, I thought. Two nations, Dwargen and Thalion, both with different cultures and technical expertise, were interacting with each other through Tempest. This town was growing to grow exponentially, I was sure of it, and then a new culture would bloom. Culture and technology. The sorcerous science Thalion boasted and the spirit engineering Dworgen cultivated would connect on our doorstep. Two different families of tech rolled into one. It could create an industrial revolution straight out of fantasy, and the Kingdom of Bloomin would have dibs on enjoying it first. Even in terms of pure accounting numbers, the potential profits were enormous. Meanwhile, The new kingdom of Farmus, created by Yom, would be reborn as a breadbasket to the entire region, filling the people's stomachs and planting the seeds for an entirely new food culture. We need to spread the wealth around to make sure none of us was competing with another member of the alliance in each specialty. But I was planning to attend to that anyway, on the sly. Raphael, Lord of Wisdom, had calculation skills that went beyond what even quantum computing could manage. Calculating global economic effects was no sweat, and accuracy is far greater than even the Earth simulator supercomputer in Japan can manage. That kind of made me sound like the man behind the curtain ruling the world, but I am the demon lord, so at least to be in character. I could understand Fuse's concern too. Bloon was so tiny it might wind up being exploited by its bigger neighbors without any recourse to turn to. That's why it was so hard for them to turn away from the council. As friendly as that alliance was to smaller nations like theirs, of course he's worried. Maybe in that short
Raphael,
term.
Lord of Turtles.
Yes,
Turtles.
there's no one better.
Turtles.
Turtles, watch out for Shredder.
Tonight I
Sorry,
dine on turtles.
turtle soup. Meanwhile, in the short term, it would have been better for them to keep dealing with the council, pool all their intelligence skills together, and Blumen might have even been able to force the Western Holy Church into all-out war against us. If that was the choice they made when they first met us, I might have been slain by now. But the Blumundians, sorry, Blumundians didn't opt for that.
The Albundians, yes.
Sorry, it just sounds funny. They trusted me and decided to walk down the same path. You do the deed, and then you get rewarded for it. Blumen had already picked me. I didn't see any reason not to take the hint. Living together in harmony was right at the crux of my ideal, besides. Fuse, when you return home, I want you to tell the king that I have a favor to ask. A favor? Not another painful one, I trust. Kinda rude, wouldn't you say? It'll take a while to explain, but I'll probably fail to get the point across to you. So I'll visit later to go over it in detail with him. Oh, and I'm the rude one. You make me sound like some kind of dullard. No, I didn't mean it like that. I just mean, do you know how much of anything about economics, Fuse? All right. I will give word to the king and arrange a time. Great, I nodded. Blumen's role here would be to keep statistics on the amount of trade in all the main manufactured goods of the region. I'd have them examine the products imported and exported from each nation and make sure that the necessary items were shipped to the necessary place. To put it another way, I would have Blumen become the first large scale trading company in the world. Get it right, and there'd be nothing small about this nation any longer. They'd be a financial superpower, wielding influence beyond comprehension. Considering Blumen's geographical location, I wanted them to be a trade hub going forward, but that would wait until everything else wrapped up. I needed to defeat Clayman. Yom needed to build a new nation, Yom needed to build a new nation. Fuse and Blumen just needed to use their information access to check on the movements of the Western Council and Church. Until we won, at least. My main concern was the Church. I didn't think they'd make any sudden moves, but they still needed to be kept in their place. Neither they nor the Holy Empire of Lubelius were willing to recognize our nation. I wanted to postpone any conflict for as long as I could, giving us time to prove our effectiveness and devotion to common harmony. If we had to fight, I'd like to keep it peaceful, but judging by Hinata's reaction to me, that might be tough. None of these problems would be wiped up that easily. Everything depended on what we did from here on out.
Okay, that's where we'll stop you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was a lot.
So I don't know why I'm suddenly Canadian, but here we go. Alright. So about those three prisoners. There's King Ed Morris, Archbishop Raymond, and who's the other guy? Oh, right, the dude who survived my attack. Were we safe letting him go? Shion, we had 3 POWs, right? The one who survived all the killing? That guy has to be pretty bad news, right? Huh. Oh, yes. That terribly frightened man. Frightened? Maybe he was just some wimp who managed to survive through sheer luck. Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Gilbert
the final
Pardee.
survivor? If I had to guess, perhaps Fulgen, captain of their knights?
If Gazel knew someone on that force by name, he must have been at least a half-decent military officer. So maybe it'd be risky to free him? I turn to Diablo.
What kind of guy was he like? Pretty strong, right? You think it'd be all right to let him off the hook? No, Sareru.
He replied, smile still on his face.
Yeah.
He is a minnow, incapable of being a problem at all. By human standards, however, he does seem rather well versed in magic. He's a magician? Maybe not a knight captain like Fulgen, then. Do you know the name, Shion? Yes, it's ramen, sir. Ramen? I haven't had ramen in years, actually. Nothing like a steaming cup of instant noodles during an all-night deadline crunch at work. I miss that. Maybe I'll try to fashion some later. Ramen?
Views asked as I bask in fond memories of my past life.
Was there someone named that in Farmus? It does not ring a bell,
replied Harold.
I love saying Harold in that name. In
Yeah.
that voice. Sorry.
Harold.
Harold?
And a magician, you say? I am aware of a magic born named Razin, who should still live there. Razin the champion? A man who should never be omitted from the story. I know that name.
Fobio chimed in.
It is well known even within the Beast Kingdom, the guardian of the great land of Farmus, and among the most intelligent of Magicborn. Yeah, even I know him too. A human who's mastered magic up to the wizard level and beyond. I've always wanted a chance to challenge him. I'm sure we'd win in close quarter combat, but he is not one to trifle with, no.
All three Biscuiteers knew him, which surprised me. There was someone like that still left in Farmus? This ramen guy didn't matter to me, but Rosin certainly needed some attending to.
You're sure the man we have is named Ramen, Shion? Yes, probably. But he's just a young man, one of the people who attacked this town. Certainly not the master magician you all are talking about.
She sounded a lot more assertive in the second half of that statement than the first. But hang on. Didn't Diablo just describe our prisoner Ramen as a magic user? Curious, I decided to get the story from a few more witnesses. What we knew for sure is that our captive was a young man, an otherworlder who had participated in the attack. Everyone was in agreement on that.
Diablo, are you making up stories in an attempt to earn Sir Rimuru's praise? Shion goaded him. Not at all. I would hardly expect to be heaped with adulation for having defeated someone of such low caliber. I simply seek recognition that I have carried out the work provided by the master I serve. That's true. Diablo didn't want me to know he was a good servant, but he didn't say anything about his opponent. Oh, did want me to know that he's a good servant. But didn't say anything about his opponent being tough at all. He was dissing the guy every chance he had, so come to think of it, Hakuro mused. When Geld and I cornered that other worlder, a fairly powerful magic wielder interfered. I believe that man was named Razan, actually. He had prepared a type of nuclear magic he was ready to unleash at any moment. So we let the other worlder go since the wizard was much more of an imminent threat. So it is Razan, not Ramen? Razan, this guy I wanted to keep an eye on, was involved in the battle after all? Was his name Miso or Soba Ramen? Oh my god. Report.
Both
Using
both
certain
really good.
Report. Using certain secret rituals in the realm of spiritual magic would allow one to leap between physical bodies. Oh, right, that. Do you think maybe that Razan guy took over the body of the younger dude? What? Shion was floored. She never seemed all that sure about our prisoner's name. I was fairly certain my theory was correct. And I am sure we will discover our ward's true name shortly. Diablo pounded the final nail into Shion's coffin. It almost drove her to tears. Our man turned out to be Razan in the end. Nobody named Ramen out there after all. All right, so enough bullying Shion over this. What do you want from her? She's Shion. Asking any kind of brain work out of Shion is a mistake in the first place.
Ouch.
But you dispatched Razan himself that easily? cannot believe it. The champion who supported farmers for centuries. He was one of the rare humans who was equal to me as a wizard, superior even. All the shocked eyes in the room turned to Diablo. If you think about it, he is kind of a mystery. Why is he so keen on being my servant? He claimed to be willing to work for free, so I had no reason to turn him down. The guy describing this amazing wizard as a minnow kind of confirms how strong he is. And this was before I named him too. And right now, this guy was just choosing to lord it over Shion. She gritted her teeth, no doubt frustrated over how she brought this fight to him and lost big. Ah, well, nothing she should, wow. Nothing should come of it as long as Shion doesn't go and start acting like they're bitter rivals. Having both a talented secretary and a ditzy one on board is going to lead to a lot of jealousy, I'm sure. Rosin, you mean raisin? How dare.
Raisin ramen.
Ramen, raisin, date.
A rosin in the sun.
Yeah.
Finally, I have arrived.
Arrived.
All right, yeah, we're done here. I'm stupid. I'll see myself out. Anyway,
You gotta stay.
Narikure! Like,
Yeah.
well, it just means I walk off camera, turn off my camera, and mute my mic, and I can still
Take a
stream.
nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just let Shim continue. He seems to be going through the literature very quickly.
I did go through it pretty fast.
You did. And I can't wait for your
Yeah.
turn to come around again because it just moves. And I'm like, wow. Wow, we're moving, dude. What
We
page
should
were we on when we started this? Weren't we in like the
80
60s?
something.
No,
No, dude,
we were in the 80s? Okay.
Yeah. We're like 85-ish.
80
So
85. Yeah, we were 85 and now we're almost at 100. Like
Mhm.
Jesus, dude.
Nice.
Well, 130 something is when this chapter ends.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
we moving, man.
We moving. 133. 133 is the last page in this chapter. And then we
Cool.
move to the eve of battle. So it'd be pretty cool if we could actually finish this chapter in like one go.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold my breath on that, but it'd be neat. All right, anyway. Oh well, nothing should come of it. Okay. Right, so let's do this. Yom, I want you to take the 3 prisoners and do something with them for me. Diablo, I want you to join him. Now Diablo was looking panicked at me. I could see Shion sneer back at him. But that order wasn't for her sake. This was the result of more serious thought. I was just thinking about who I could have help out Yom's team. Assuming I left Veldora to keep the town safe, someone was who was reasonably intelligent, strong enough to handle anything that came his way, and could move fast if needed. Soe would have been the best choice, but I needed
straight.
him on the combat field. The what?
No, I just said damn straight under
Oh.
my breath.
On the battlefield. Benimaru was my general field commander. Shion was out of the question. Hakuro couldn't use or spatial motion, so it'd take time for him to travel anywhere. Geld and Gabiru would stand out too much in human society, meaning Diablo fulfilled all my conditions. He said he'd lent a hand when it came time to take Farmus down, so I doubted he'd have any complaints. He'd have no problem guarding someone as potentially harmful as Rosin, either. I will leave this to you, Diablo. Ah, I understand, Sir Rimuru. He gave me a delighted smile. Something didn't seem quite right about it to me. But if he said yes, then no complaints. Right now, Diablo was probably 3rd in strength after Veldora and me. No matter what happened, he'd have it handled in a flash. Yeah, that's no joke. This job might take several years, so I hope you'll be patient with it. Contact me with thought communication if anything comes up. Not a problem, sir. I will be happy to handle this mission well before the allotted time. He sure had a lot of confidence. This was an entire nation I was asking him to take down. But again, that's another reason I felt safe giving him this assignment. Now, with all the plans settled, we could end this summit between nations, and now I could focus my attention on all-out war with Clayman without any regrets. Just so you guys know, we're approaching, in the manga, they're actually approaching the back half towards the end of actually we're deep into the back half of volume 7. So the faster we keep going through this, the quicker we'll catch up with the manga. And then we have to give a warning to the manga readers, be like, "Hey, bros, if you're an anime only or you read the manga, there be spoilers ahead." We're getting
Big
to it.
ones.
Big ones. To finish off, I asked if anyone else had something to say. A hand shot up. It belonged to Harold, who was looking expectantly at me. Yes? I asked. Harold had been waiting for this. Our nation and yours are separated from each other by extremely treacherous forest and mountains. If we could connect ourselves directly through that region, that would allow us to cut the travel distance by quite a margin. A highway in particular would make the trek far easier. He shot me a glance. Aha! I knew what he was getting at. If we were going to be building a formal relationship with Thalion, of course we'd want a direct link between us. We'd have to do that, of course. Products that used to require long detours to deliver would naturally be more attractive once we had a better road. That was a part of my plan from the start. Of course, it also mean we'd have a lot of civil engineering to do. Cutting down trees, building tunnels, paving the roads. The budget would be huge, and maybe they were a superpower, but it wouldn't be that easy to procure a budget like that. No doubt, Harold already had some ballpark figures he composed himself in hopes of forcing the whole job on us. Harold, Gazzles commented, you are asking too much. Not even Rimuru can accept such a massive undertaking so lightly. Well, hang on, I'm pretty sure we covered all the work and expenses for the highway to the Dwarven Kingdom, didn't we? Don't be ridiculous, Gazzle. If it was Sir Rimuru saying that, I would accept it, but not from you of all people. I guess Harold knew too. So if I'd already accepted the job from Gazzle, would it be wrong to say no to Thalion? In my honest opinion, I had no problem being left the task. A highway was a small price to pay for their recognition, really. But if I kept taking these low-paying jobs, so to speak, every country we ran into going forward might expect a similar handout. Humans are sly like that. Something I was sure reminded of by my experience in Bloomond. They had me right where they wanted me. Let's get a thing or two straight before we go any further. I understand your suggestion, Duke Harold. We would be willing to accept your request for a highway. However, Harold nervously swallowed as he looked at me. Don't worry, man, I'm not going to ask for much. However, I want you to let us handle the highway security and lodging facilities. Of course, we would take payment for this in the form of a small transport tax on top of operating expenses for these services. It would be like running a toll road. We'd set up stops at decently sized regular intervals where people would have to pay fees to advance. That would provide us with permanent funding. We might start in the red, but over the long term, it'd probably lead to profit. Our special interest at work, you could say. On top of all that, we'd keep the highway maintained for them. A bargain, really. I see. Impressive. And only natural to demand that much. However, I would like to have the right to negotiate this transportation tax, or this transport tax, sorry, I added an Asian. Sometimes you do that, man. Sometimes you feel like an Asian, sometimes you
Yep.
don't. All right, anyway. Transport tax, perhaps once every few years. Oh, Harold's pretty impressive himself. He immediately saw what I was trying to accomplish. Of course, none of that would happen without both sides coming to an agreement. No point setting that tax too high. I'll take the offer. All right, let's go with that. That's it? Fuse seemed flabbergasted, but I let it slide. In diplomacy, the power to make a decision trumps all else. Geld, we got a new job for you. Yes, sir. It gladdens me to hear. We have the teamwork to handle every step of the operation. The supply lines to transport the needed materials and people with skills that need and control the earth. The work you provide us is our very nourishment, Sir Rimuru. The best military training ground we could ever hope for. Huh? Oh, yeah, that's the motivation they need to go with? Huh? And here I thought Geld had some common sense. Maybe not so much. Oh, you're gonna lose us in a dead zone. Alright. I didn't know how to react for a moment. Yeah, well, in that case, we better get this war finished up so you can get to work. Indeed. Soon you will enjoy the results of our daily training regimen. Geld was really up for a fight. Sure, he'll be an asset in the one against Clayman. That was the last of the feedback I received, and thus, after several twists and turns, our summit was finally over. A wealth of nations came to the bargaining table today, each with their own motivations, duking it out with words in search of a world where man and monster live hand in hand. It might have come out of nowhere, but this so-called Monster and Man Summit would later wind up becoming a turning point in history. I had once again taken a major step toward my ideal. All right, Calvin, it is your turn to take over.
All right. With our talks between national leaders complete, it was finally time for our anti-claimant strategy conference. I figured we all needed to hear Selway's report first, so I ordered the meeting hall to be set up once more. As I did,
Shit out of me.
I had the nagging feeling I was forgetting something. And it just so happened that I was. Ramirez.
Okay, we're going all the way to 113.
Sorry, Shem.
Once we get to 113, Shim, it's back to you.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, keep going, dude. Let's get
Okay.
this. Oh my fucking god, really? After Godfrey, you have Miss Pinky.
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yep.
So I'll finish this paragraph.
And then I get to yell, "Oh, shut up, bitch!"
God.
Make me, you green bastard.
Yep, you're ready. You're ready. There you go. All right, we're good. You wanted to know why I cast these people. Now you know why.
Yep. It's actually part of the intro test.
By the way, guys, going off of my tally, I have not hit 40 on any exercises yet. So at least 10 more crunches before I can do those.
Crunch.
Hold on real quick.
10 more crunches, 20 push-ups, 20 more Russian twists, 30 squats, and 30 jumping jacks before I get started. Once they all hit 40, I will do them. If they don't get to 40 by the end of the episode, then I'll just do what's there at the end of the episode. And I know a lot of you bastards have channel points saved up, so
I do.
get to it, chop chop.
Smash man.
Shmish man. I'm now at 40 crunches. All right, so we're good on 40 crunches.
All right.
So pick something
Okay.
other than crunches at the moment. Crunch.
I'm more of a Reese's guy. Crunches are nice though.
This is about the Nestle water, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. This doesn't taste like chocolate.
What was that noisy little pixie going on about? Was she still unconscious? Worried, I headed over to Veldora only to find... Well, take a guess.
You fool!
Ew, fuck!
It was Ramirez, entranced by the manga she was reading. I was concerned she'd start bawling and guess I gave her some attention, but I had nothing to worry about. Hey, what are you doing? Shut up a second. I'm just getting to the good part. She didn't even look up at me. Why was she here again? That manga had her full attention right now. But she had something important to do here, right, Kermie?
Why does it smell like bacon in here?
Oh, Kermie, I think you already know why.
Ugh. Waka waka.
Oh no, Piggy's on fire!
That's what they call it. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say, wow, I heard that. What was it? This turns a whole new meaning in pig in a blanket. Never mind. It's all good.
I swear to God, if you put mustard in my sheets again.
Ugh. Ugh. Yee.
All right. I suppose she must have woken up, set off to yell at me again, and then noticed the manga volume strewn all over the sofa. They must have captured her imagination so thoroughly she didn't even realize the summer was over. She must have made amends with Feldora as well, because now she was happily being served by Beretta, as if that whole fainting spell never took place. Yeesh. I turned toward Beretta. Congratulations on your evolution to Demon Lord, it said with a polite bow. Allow me to thank you, Grandmaster, for letting me share in the beliefs of said evolution, the benefits of said evolution. Thanks to you, I have transformed from an arch golem into a chaos golem. This evolution had imparted elements of both holy and demonic force into it. That was mainly thanks to the skill Reverser, which allowed the user to obtain two diametrically opposed essences at once. In Beretta's case, aspects of both demonic and angelic power, I suppose. A new spirit core was born inside of it, fusing with its older demonic one to create a new chaos core. This let it handle holy element attacks, something it was weaker against before. I couldn't have been the only one who saw that as incredibly unfair. That rock-solid Magisteel body, already impervious to most physical attacks and magic, and now is even covered for what few weaknesses it had. You couldn't ask for a better upgrade than that. This unique skill Reverser was something involved with me, it seemed. A lot of the panic I felt at the time must have come across to Beretta. When I was encased in that holy field, my emotion... holy field. My... Don't know why I laughed at that. My emotions when I was left powerless by the sealed-off magicules must have affected how this power manifested itself, I think. Given that an arch golem runs on magicules, it must have feared that it too would stop in its tracks. So it came up with this countermeasure. Between Reverser and that Chaos Core, Beretta was turning into one extremely interesting research subject.
I mean, ally. All right.
We're at page 103.
Report. Oh, I figured that's why you were calling on me.
Oh, yeah.
Report. The unique skill Reverser is already integrated into the ultimate skill, Uriel, Lord of Vows. Its effect can be recreated by applying control laws to metallic elements. Creating a new chaos core requires providing the correct conditions and materials to...
What? Raphael just chucked that out offhand, but I couldn't believe how useful he was.
I mean, he's cool but rude.
That's it. Food chain. I have food chain as part of the ultimate skill Beelzebub, Lord of Gluttony, so I can obtain the original model for any skills owned by my friends. Beretta had it too, so we talked about it for a little bit. It seemed rather satisfied with the skill and the fun it had experimenting in the labyrinth. Following its evolution, it figured something similar must have happened to me as well too. In any case, I said, I'm glad you're still doing well. Once this is all settled down, we should talk a little more in depth. I appreciate you saying that. And now I have something to look forward to. Oh, hold on a second. Oh boy.
Frog in your throat?
Oh, water.
Wouldn't it be the first time?
You bastard.
Oh yeah, baby, take it all. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Love that. That's great.
Oh.
Yeah, we're definitely not finishing this chapter today.
Nope.
No, not with all the laughter breaks
Nope.
we're having. Yeah.
Gonzo.
Ah! Way to wreck it, Rolf.
Yep. Sorry, I should go outside and take a waka waka.
I don't know, man. Maybe you should
Sorry.
shave. You're looking kind of Fozzie there.
I was gonna say I shaved earlier. What's what you talking about?
You're looking kind of Fozzie there, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me put on my coat.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Getting
All
a
right.
little chilly in here.
All right. I'm
wait.
ready. I'm ready to go play with the beaker.
Me. Oh, you can't do beaker. There you go. Perfect.
All right.
Yep.
So, yeah. I forget who all the Muppet babies were, but yeah.
Mm.
Muppet babies. All right. Sorry.
There was the
Continue
dog.
on.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also glad you're still listening to Ramirez. Keep that up, unless she gives you any orders that are too crazy. I'll be happy to. I promise I will not betray your expectations.
We
Great.
all know that
Hang in
Shem is
there.
a party animal. Had to work an animal somewhere.
Mhm.
By the way, what are you guys here for? I shot a glance at Ramirez, still enthralled by her manga. Beretta must have forgotten too. It made a beeline for Ramirez, bringing her out of her trance-like state. Lady Ramirez, now is not the time for this. We must inform Sir Reamer of the news. Shut up! I'm really busy right now! Please.
Can't wait to cast Ramirez now that we have her. The script is finally at a point where we're ready to get the voice lines recorded.
Nice. Please, my lady, recall your goals traveling here. I told you! Fate has brought me here and this wonderful thing they call manga together! Oh, what suitor will she choose in the end? You can't argue with that impassioned logic. Literally, you can't. Oh, the pains Beretta must go through. I couldn't let this go on. I had a general idea of what she was reading, so, with a sigh, I decided to threaten her a little. If I didn't, we'd all be forced to wait until she was done with the series, and that one was an epic running over 40 volumes. So even someone as calm and Buddha-like in his patience as I couldn't hold out that long. Hey Ramirez, if you don't want me to spoil it for you on who she goes with, then tell me why you're here already.
I love that he threatens them with spoilers. It's like, I'll fucking
Yeah.
spoil it for you if you don't do what I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I mean, hey, yeah, it works.
The ultimate way to get them to listen to you.
Mhm.
The threat produced immediate results. Right, she shouted, saluting to me and hurriedly flying into the air, not a care in the world. It couldn't have been anything serious, just her overreacting and carrying on as always. The rest of our visitors had stopped their chatting as they prepared to leave, also remembering that Ramirez was still there. I guess they all wanted to satisfy their curiosities before going. The fairy noticed the attention and proudly puffed out her chest, or lack thereof, burn.
Ouch.
Crossed her arms and gave me the boldest nod she could. I'll say it one more time. Tempest shall fall to ruin. What did you say?
Hold the fuck up.
What? What did you say? I replied without enthusiasm, following the script. She took the bait. You know, she said patronizingly. That isn't something I want to happen, of course. So I came all the way over here to tell you. You better thank me. I tried my best to avoid all her little jabs at me.
All I can think about is The Rock again. Shut up, bitch!
I thought you were gonna get the really quizzical look like.
Oh no,
Like
we already got that one. Thank you, Zavala.
Zavala.
Zavala. I mean, look in Destiny memes in my server, you'll understand. When someone says indeed. Get that raised All right, sorry. Continue.
Giving them attention would just prolong the conversation. So why are we falling to ruin? Well, before I tell you, she stopped, turning serious as she looked around to size up the dignitaries around her. Then she nodded to herself. Ah, I suppose this has a lot to do with you humans too. All right, listen up, all of you. Claimants just proposed that we launch a World Purchase Council. A World Purchase what? Right, a World Purchase Council. A special meeting of all the Demon Lords. Oh, she said launch, so I thought this was some kind of huge magic spell at first. I was planning to storm Clayman's domain, so if she told me that Clayman was attacking first, I would have freaked out. Pressing her for more details, Ramirez stated that staging while purchase required the consent of at least 3 Demon Lords, and once convened, attendance was very much mandatory. Absence was never forgiven. It was one of the very few things the capricious, self-serving Demon Lords had agreed to on paper. Although this still didn't prevent some extremely lazy Demon Lords from sending a representative with full rights to the council instead. I think I've read about this, Harold said. Once, all the Demon Lords came together to wage an epic battle, one that the Western Holy Church named Walpurgis, or the Feast of Demons. This was something he had apparently read in some records dating back 1,000 years ago. The war was a costly one, causing serious damage and disasters across the land. Walpurgis, the term coined by the Holy Church for it, had the connotation of not just a demonic feast, but one attended by those who spread chaos and destruction worldwide. These were worldwide affairs, I supposed. So if demon lords gathered together like this, did it mean war among themselves or teaming up against some other enemy? Excuse me. So are the demon lords about to declare war on something? No, I'm a busy woman. I don't have time for wars or other annoying stuff like that. Ramirez looked like she had a lot of free time, but never mind. She was a demon lord, one who had been around for a long time to boot. Maybe she was part of those conferences of a millennium ago. It wasn't out of the question. Errol nodded at her. I believe the demon lord Ramirez is telling the truth. The war in the records I read was officially called the Tema War, war between heaven and demon. It was fought by multiple factions, all vying for power. Of course. As he put it, these Tema Wars, or Great Wars, were triggered every 500 years. There was a reason for that. It was because the forces of heaven, in other words, the angels, came down to Earth at around that cycle. These angels were kind of natural enemies to demons, I suppose, but oddly enough, they would attack pretty much everyone indiscriminately. Excuse me. Developed cities and towns, for some reason, were a particularly favored target. Nobody knew why, but there you go. Oh, what voice should I use for Gazel? That is that is the reason why we never left the underground, Gazel said, and maybe they had the right idea. As advanced as they were, they'd stick out like a sore thumb. The sorceress dynasty of Thalion took the same tactic, building a city in the hollow of a gigantic divine tree. That fancy tree city, as Gazel had mockingly called it. As superpowers, both nations spared no expense in keeping their lands safe. So, what about the Western nations? The Council of the West was established to protect themselves against monsters, but also so they could survive an upcoming Great War. Member nations worked together, while Dworgen and Thalion basically hunkered down. But the Angels weren't the only enemy to worry about. As if responding to their dissent, the monsters on the ground would suddenly explode into action. In this case, the Magic-born, knowledge-bearing monsters. Some demon lords would use Tema Wars to stage invasions of human nations as well. The Great War of a millennium ago saw that happen, which led to a lot of tragedy for everyone involved. The humans, to their credit, weren't anyone to be trifled with. That could be seen in what was likely to be the largest antagonist of the next war, the Nascanamrium Ulmeria United Eastern Empire. There we go.
That's a mouthful.
That's a good.
It was called the
Interesting.
NNUEUE.
The new.
Or is it Nue?
New way.
Nue.
No way.
Yeah. That's we had the NNUUEE. It's just so absurd. Oh, I love it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh goodness.
Hmm.
Thankfully, it's just shortened to the Empire. the Empire, the Empire's thirst for power could strike any time, any place. If the Western nations showed any sign of weakness, the Eastern power could bare their fangs at a moment's notice. Thus, you would have these wild, frantic world wars, with angel and demon and human brutally slaughtering one another. That was your typical Tema war. So I guess it was kind of slander to accuse the demon lords of triggering them. Not that I wanted one of those either. And what's with angels setting their sights on the bigger cities? I wanted my city to be the richest one in the land, incomparable to anything else. But maybe I ought to wait a bit. Maybe it's smarter not to develop the most important facilities until we had the resources to defend them. But this was all in the future anyway. Let's just put it in the file for now. Back to this Walpurgis. So, what is Walpurgis though? What do all the demon lords assemble for? If it didn't have anything to do with the Great War, there had to be some other motivation. Wait, is that it, maybe? Like what Millen was talking about? How they punished anyone else who declared themselves to be a demon king? Are they gonna decide who will do me in?
Well, first, I think you kind of have the wrong idea. So let me start with this.
What Ramirez had to say hadn't occurred to me at all.
These Walpurgis councils, we hold a lot of them. All you need is 3 demon lords to agree to one, which is pretty darn easy. Back in the day, it'd just be this informal chat over tea with me, Guy, and Milam. But Walpurgis is just a place where demon lords come together, catch up on the news, and talk about whatever's happened lately. It's not really a huge deal, it's just that humans don't know about it.
This sounded like quite a revelation. Maybe she saw it as nothing, but it was almost scary how lightly she treated the demon lord job sometimes. Maybe I should take what she said with a grain of salt. If I accepted it as the unvarnished truth, it might come back to bite me in the ass sometime. Okay then, stupid. If it's just high tea with your friends, then why is this nation gonna fall to ruin? Even someone as kind as I am felt the need to yell at her a little. This kid just has no idea what's going on.
There we go. Good boy.
Look, no, all right.
She waved her arms up and down.
The problem isn't that they're holding Walpurgis. It's what they're going to talk about.
What they'll talk about? If they're all meeting together, it's gonna be about killing me, isn't it? As Ramirez put it, 2 people agreed to Clayman's initial Walpurgis request, the demon lords Frey and Millen. That triggered it, and the topic of discussion, the new force born in the forest of Jura and their leader assuming the title of demon lord. So, me then.
So we're already talking about the angels a little bit already, are we?
Mhm.
Yep.
Men, we don't know what we
know
built.
what we did.
We don't
Oh,
know
that's
what
even
we built. Or I guess since Reaver is the one doing it and he's the demon lord. Men, we don't know what they built. Also, I hereby demand that somewhere when we're doing a very serious mission in Destiny, that you just randomly bust out the Ramirez.
They're killing us. Ah! I can't do it. Yeah.
Like, I just
Yeah.
want to know what DDA's response is gonna be. That's
I don't know who they are, but
because
they'll
from
probably
me he might be a little on guard, but from you he's not expecting it.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
By the way, guys, we interrupt this reading one more time to encourage you to donate to the exercise enforcement. We're already capped at 40 squats or crunches. Sorry, push-ups, Russian twists, squats, and jumping jacks. That's what we got to go. Do
Mhm.
angels respond well to cookies? Clearly, they don't. They've got it out for Rimuru.
No.
Yeah,
Nope.
Whipped it out for Rimuru.
they're of the horrible variety. Maybe they do, but it's only oatmeal raisin.
Oh.
Who knows?
Oh. How
It's the
sad.
land of
No,
milk
we're-
and honey. They don't
no.
believe in cookies.
It's all
Possible.
fake Newtons.
No.
Oh, everybody,
no.
everybody, we got what we gotta participate in. Stretch.
Okay.
Oh,
Stretch was redeemed. And that's a good one to redeem. I like that. I like a good stretch. All right. Sorry about that.
Oh god.
I know, right? That felt
Oh,
good.
nice. Thanks. Yep.
All right. Let's pick up what page are we on? I have had to step away for dog stuff.
108 digitally.
108.
Oh wow.
And in the paperback.
All right.
Mm,
So there
okay,
we go.
So we're on the same spot. Okay.
So we're
Cool.
almost at they're almost at me talking again. Good to know.
Mhm.
We're
Okay,
not too
let's
far
see.
away from the end of this to the
Mhm.
next part where Shem has to take over. And then he could just
Mhm.
read all the rest in like 30 minutes, like nothing.
I'll try not to go too fast, but
He just
I'll do
does.
it.
He'll speed
do it
read through it and we won't even know.
I
what
just
happened.
naturally read
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
I'm just cool with it, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you
Cool.
read for the first half hour or something.
cool.
Like maybe
You
we'll
got
just time it from now on. Like everybody has like a specific time, and it's like, okay, that's a stopping point. Let's see how far we can get in each time or whatever.
Mm,
Okay, Kermit with a C, take it away.
Kermit. Is that Sermit?
Sermit,
Yeah,
Sermit.
Sermit.
exercise is up.
hmm
All right.
All right.
So you declared yourself a demon lord.
I nodded. Yep, and I don't regret it one bit.
Well, that's not so weird coming from you. You might have to deal with a few tricky spots, but with all the powers you've got, it ought to work out, huh?
Ramirez made it all sound like it wasn't her problem at all. Which I guess it wasn't. I mean, I was prepared for this, but still. You think they want to punish me for it?
That's how they're phrasing it.
She replied.
But one of the unwritten rules in our line of work is that if you want to punish someone, go do it yourself, if you care that much. They're holding wild purges this time because they were betrayed by the demon lord Carrion. Plus, Clayman was going on and on about how Murin, one of his underlings, was killed.
What kind of line of work is Demon Lord anyway? She ignored the question. But apparently Clayman had already fingered Rimuru, so-called new Demon Lord, as Mjorin's killer. Which meant his goal was
Report. It is believed to be the takeover of the Demon Lord Carrion's territory and the suppression of the Forest of Jura.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's why his army's en route. I guess he made the first move before we even realized it. Shrewder than I thought, my guess.
Hey, are you even listening to me?
Now Ramirez was giving me that uncharacteristically stern look.
You're acting like this is no big deal, but it's huge. Melip's already taken down Carrion, I heard. And Clayman's ready to send an entire army of Magic-born someone's way. Punishment? Heck, this is war. Clayman's come up with an excuse to take each and every one of you down, all right?
The summit attendees began to stir. Having one of the demon lords taken down was serious news to the superpower nations. I suppose it would be, Yeah, it would totally disrupt the balance of power between them. And while it had already happened, the news was a total bolt from the blue for everyone else. Pretty heady stuff. Pretty heady stuff. That and Lord Carrion, a betrayer. How dare that brute accuse him? Claiming will pay for this. I will crush that upstart with my own two hands. Yay!
That's good.
Thank you. Whether Lord Carrion is here to lead it or not, our armies are unhurt and in full fighting shape. We'll never let Clayman's minions seize our land. I just picked the most random voices I could think of because
Get a
it
free
didn't say
Southern
who it
accent.
was. Yes,
Yeah.
It goes without saying that the Beasketeers had the most visceral reaction to it all. Oh, those were the Beasketeers.
I mean, that's fine. It's fine. Just work. Just works.
Nobody likes their master being called a backstabber, I suppose. Plus, from what Ramirez said, apparently Clayman was gunning for his whole territory. Man, we really got a late start, didn't we? I had no idea we'd be moving this fast. Better dispatch him quick. He can't be up to anything good. Calm down a sec, Ramirez. Yes, it's true I declared myself Demon Lord, but I didn't kill Murin.
What do you mean?
I mean that Clayman's telling you a pack of lies. I expected him to come out against me with that accusation. Plus,
What? You got any evidence to show for that?
either way, Demon Lord Ramirez parting. Oh, there it is. Demon Lord Ramirez, pardon me for speaking out of turn. I am Murin, the magic-born servant of Clayman who is allegedly killed. I'm gonna crush Clayman. The moment I made him think Murin was dead, I knew he was gonna react sooner or later. I didn't take the bait. Clayman was just hooked by my lure. The rest of the demon lords weren't involved. The sight of Murin threw Ramirez for a loop.
Huh? What? Wait. So now I get it. The Demon Lord Clayman's the real culprit now, isn't he? I knew it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good thing she recovered so fast. Too bad it was incredibly obvious for anyone else in the room. I felt bad for her, so I decided to follow up on something else I wondered about. Yeah, I agree with you there, but I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm? What? Just ask Detective Ramirez here, and she'll crack the case.
Uh-oh, I wound up just egging her on, didn't I? Detective? Seriously? She must have been peeking at whatever Veldora was reading, huh? I opted not to pursue that for now. How do you think the other demon lords will react to this? I wasn't expecting much, but I figured I had to ask.
I don't know,
She
but
had been
Char's gonna be really mad she missed the Ramirez show.
Yeah.
How are the other demon lords gonna react? Man, I don't know, but Char's gonna be really pissed.
I wasn't expecting much, but I figured I had to ask. She had been a demon lord for ages, so I couldn't deny the possibility that she had something to go on.
That's ageist.
The room went quiet, awaiting her response. It was a question of deep interest to everyone else, too. Too bad Ramirez was so indifferent to that.
Huh? Well, I don't know. It was just like, here's what we'll talk about during the party, so join in, okay?
So nonchalant with it. I shouldn't have expected anything else. I'm just a kid. I should be glad she came over to tell me at all. Next question. Okay, so when is this wall purchase, Ramirez? Do you know the exact date and time? I'd want to know before we formulate our anti-claimant strategy.
Oh, I didn't mention it. It's gonna be 3 days from now, on the night of the new moon.
3 days? That's sooner than I thought. Gonna be kind of hard to finish them off in just 3 days. So, is this showdown gonna have to wait until after wall purchase? Another issue to bring up with the gang, I guess. That was about all I wanted to ask Ramirez. That was all she was here for, it turned out, and it wasn't like I'd be able to glean anything else useful from her. Then a sudden thought came to mind. So why did you come all the way here to tell me?
Hmm? Well, really, it's like, if you get killed, what's gonna happen to my Beretta here? So I decided to take your side on this, and that's why I'm here. That kind of thing. And I'm gonna build a labyrinth entrance here. But is that okay?
No, that's not okay. Where'd that come from? What kind of an entrance, anyway? I appreciated her bringing the news, but this came right out of nowhere.
Huh? What's the big deal? Don't sweat the small stuff.
She never was one for listening. No, she was much more for talking and arguing her point until she got it. As far as she was concerned, this conversation was already over. She was one of the most free and wild fairies I've ever met.
Ah, the labyrinth. So it begins.
Dance, magic dance.
Home builder.
I
Dude,
am sweating the small.
Bob the Builder wishes he had her skills.
Right?
Mhm.
I am sweating the small stuff, and you should too. And don't go around thinking that Beretta's all yours either. I held my ground, refusing to let her get her way. Any entrance to the labyrinth built around here could never possibly bode well for us. And Beretta's fate wasn't just in my hands. It had a lot to do with the golem as well. It wasn't something she had any right to dictate. A simple question on my part led to what I could only call an outrageous proposal. We argued vehemently about it for a while, to no effect, before the crowd finally broke up. I was too busy to deal with her any longer, and Ramirez, her business apparently done, went back to her manga. As they left, I promised all the attendees that I had informed them of whatever new information I found. They all agreed to this before they went their separate ways. Fuse planned to stay the night at the inn before heading home. I hope you're prepared for what lies ahead, he warned. It is your country being targeted this time. A demon lord is a very dangerous thing.
Why?
I-
Why does Fuse sound like Captain Kirk?
I mean,
that was just a voice that came out.
The random pauses that happened were just very Shatner.
Yeah.
That was completely unintentional
I
until I,
can't believe this voice you're doing. What's
it's your country being targeted this
going
time.
on?
A demon lord is a very dangerous thing. I think I know how strong you are, Sir Rimuru, but
that hurts my neck. I haven't done that in a while. uh, oh,
Continue.
go.
I understood what he meant. At worst, I could wind up making enemies out of several demon lords at once. Out of the 10 of them, who could I count on as non-hostile? Carrion was AWOL. Ramirez promised to back me up, so there's one. Milim, Mil's my biggest worry. I'm pretty sure she's just being tricked, but I'd still need to prepare myself for the worst. So if I managed to completely screw up everything, I could have 8 demon lords wanting me dead. Of course, if it looked like I was going to lose Milim before that, it was probably best to run for the hills immediately at that point. Oh, I'll figure something out. Oh wait, that wasn't Fused. That
No,
was
no, that
that
was.
Rimuru.
Okay, well, I mean, that's still
No.
funny. He's talking to Fuse in the language of his people. Anyway, we gotta get through
Errol
this.
and El. Yep. This page is almost done. Errol and Ellen also whined at me about wanting some time to talk to each other. I agreed to have them stay for several nights before leaving. Not at the inn, but at our luxury ryokan style hotel. All of
Yo-
Tempest was proud of that place.
Yokon.
Yo.
Ding, 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 ding.
Do that
Sorry.
again. Do that again.
Ding, ding,
No,
ding,
not
ding,
you,
ding, ding, ding.
Calvin.
Yo.
All right, sorry. Had to.
Good. Mhm.
Had to. Yeah. You can't just Rio without a clap.
Mhm.
Somebody made a Soldier Boy version of that, and it's
Yeah.
and it's hilarious.
I want that.
If if I can find it, I'll send it to you.
Soldier Boy. Boy,
Oh,
that aged well.
yep. Right. All of Tempest was proud of that place, and if we could earn the Duke's praise for it, he was welcome anytime. It was funny though, seeing how different Errol the statesman was from Errol the person. He was so preoccupied with his daughter that I was worried she'd run off on him. I just had to pray he wouldn't do anything to make her even angrier. Also opted to stay an extra few days, so I locked him in the ryokan as well. As I guess from seeing them speak, they had known each other for ages, even fighting in battles together. Errol must have really been one hell of a wizard. And now, funnily enough, they were using Tempest as a new channel to go to build geopolitical ties with.
No. How dare.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
How dare.
Hello, welcome back.
How dare. I go to click on something and my mouse like glitches because my hands can't hold still.
Mm.
Oh. Oh, dang.
How freaking dare my mouse. All right, please continue from where you were before I just unceremoniously canceled the call.
Okay. Uh, Gazel also opted to stay a few extra days, so I lodged him in the ryokan as well. As I guessed from seeing him speak, they had known each other for ages, even fighting in battles together. Errol must have really been a hell of a wizard. And now, funnily enough, they were using Tempest as a new channel to build geopolitical ties with. It's always better to get along, of course.
Clayman broke the stream again.
Yeah, he did. He fucked with my computer, and now he's here. Fuck off, Clayman.
Fuck off, Clayman.
Yeah.
Clayman better leave my computer alone, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
We really enjoyed a celebrity lineup at this summit, though, didn't we? Leaders who hold major sway over human nations in the future. And if you think about it, I was standing on equal footing with them. Having that selfish fairy crash it at the very end made it for a less than happy ending. But I think it's safe to say I gained a lot from it all.
If he started his own animation studio, would it be called Claymation?
No.
Oh boy.
I look, I couldn't help it.
Yeah, it's okay. That was a good joke.
It's like the
That's
Stay
good.
Puft Marshmallow Man. It just popped in there.
Yeah. I thought of the one thing who couldn't hurt me.
No one steps on a church in my town.
All right.
Someone sends Xenomorph Steve after Clayman.
Yeah, do it.
All
Come on, dude. Actually, that'd probably be an easier fate than,
right. Well, I now know how the fight is gonna go. Shio
Yep.
transformed, turns into Xenomorph Steve.
Yeah.
What
She
the
opens her
hell is
mouth and
that?
like a little chittering mouth comes out, but it's just a little Shion. Yep. All
All
right.
right. Sorry.
Freeze
On that
Continue.
note,
for
it's-
Clayman.
we
It
would
is
have liked to rest up as. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What?
Free Steve hugs for Clayman, says Ari.
Free Steve hugs. All right. If we can get to 124, I'm good with this.
Yeah. We would have liked to rest up as well, but that wasn't happening. I didn't want demon lords breathing down my neck, and we needed some countermeasures. After a meal, we all gathered again in the meeting hall. The three Beaskateers and Miram were our only guests this time. Yom and Grusith were already preparing to depart. Grusith really wanted a seat in the conference, but relented after Phobio screamed at him. They had an important job to do, so I really wanted them to focus their full attention on that. I was hoping Miran would join in the preparations as well, but she was the one with concrete intelligence on Clayman, so I had to ask her to join. And for some reason, Diablo was joining us. I hardly have any need to prepare, he declared. And really, I had to assume he was right. There wasn't any reason to kick him out, so I gave him full permission. The moment I entered the hall, "Oh, you! What are you doing? What's the meaning of this?" Ramirez accosted me yet again. What, what do you mean? I asked. Then she began yelling at me, her face turning red. Here was the basic story. During this break period, she was called into the dining hall. I had totally forgotten about this, but Ramirez had a long history with Trini and the other dryads, who served her back when she was still a spirit queen. Trini recognized her at once, of course, and it wasn't long before they were all giving her the royal treatment, answering her every beck and call. That's pretty great, huh? Yes. Oh, wait. That's pretty great, huh? Yes, it is great. Really great. So I've decided to live here too, Rimuru. Yes, Ramirez really likes this town. And as a lonely demon lord with no minions to serve her, I'm sure the dryad kindness lifted her spirits sky high. Between that and being guided around town, soaking up all the sights, she decided to take the plunge. I told you to stop making all these unilateral decisions. Plus, remember, Trainee and the Dryads are kind of busy managing things in the forest. They don't live with you anymore. They can't spend all day dealing with you here. Oh, is that supposed to be him? I gave the three doting Dryad sisters waiting behind her some serious side eye as I lectured Ramirez. She wasn't interested in listening. Oh, don't be so stingy. What's the big deal? If anything happens, I'll help you out of it. Old Ramirez is the strongest gal you'll ever find. With your help, I'm headed straight for the. No, never mind. If I said that out loud, it'd make her cry. Sir Rimuru, Trainee said, we promised to take care of Lady Ramirez. I do hope you will be forward thinking your decision. Do it for us, please, her sisters said in chorus. I don't know. She's going to be such a troublemaker. We'll be dealing with even more humans here before long. And Ramirez flitting around will be hard to ignore. Another issue for the back burner, then. All right, I'll think about it. You will? Oh, Rimuru, I knew you'd see things my way. Let's give some thought later to how Ramirez's presence would impact the town. I had other issues to take care of before that. With Ramirez suitably placated, it was time to start the conference. Right. I know it's tough, having all these discussions at once, but bear with me. We have two items on the agenda here, fighting Clayman and the Walpurgis Council. Ramirez here has just informed me that I am being targeted. First, I'd like you to all hear Soe's report and discuss their strategy. Soe, give us your briefing on Clayman's forces, sir. He began right after my introduction. While we were all holding our summits, Clayman's army had been busy. They had stopped in Milam's domain to rest and organize their troops. They do not appear to be led by Clayman himself, Soe stated. Their leader is accompanied by a slew of Magicborn and boasts a great deal more magical energy than the rest of them. But even then, his force is along the lines of the three Beasketeers. If that is the Demon Lord Clayman.
See, it was appropriate to have Soe voicing Soe for the meeting.
yeah. If that is the Demon Lord Clayman, he is far too feeble a threat. Man, he's brimming with confidence too, huh? In terms of Beastketeer level strength, I can think of 3 Magicborn serving Clayman who would fit that description. That many, huh? Yep, he's sure a Demon Lord, I gotta admit. These 3 were 3 of Clayman's 5 fingers. His most favorite of assistants, Yamza, the middle finger, Aldemon, the pointer finger, and Ninehead, the thumb. Sorry, I just find that name funny.
Say Agumon?
No. Agumon!
God,
Pointer finger!
fingers.
No, I just thought Ninehead the Thumb. That's just a funny name. It sounds like a hobbit in the Shire. Don't speak to Ninehead the Thumb. Sorry. Mirren, by the way, was the ring finger. The final little finger was named Perone, but was mostly involved in intelligence gathering and rarely appeared in public.
Of course, Mirren's the ring finger. She has to marry Yom.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody gotta marry that bitch.
I had been wondering about the moderate gestures group in their relation to Clayman, but Mirren apparently knew nothing about them. Clayman was never one to trust in his other underlings, she explained, so it wouldn't be strange at all for him to put observers in place to keep tabs on us during missions. You could call them the audience for his puppet shows, I suppose. They might have been acted without any Clayman's forces knowing, like in the Orc Lord battle. Better make sure I don't forget that. So, who's their commander, Mirren? The leader Soe had spotted was a thin, frail-looking Magicborn. His thought communication broadcast a perfect image of him to all of us. This is Yamza. Yamza, the frozen sword mage. He is cruel, unfair, merciless low, or he is a cruel, unfair, merciless low life, but a regrettably talented one. He willingly swore his loyalty to Clayman, and we never did get on well after that. Oh, that was her. Anyway, so the army was led by Yamza, a magic-born, and according to Muran, the strongest of the Five Fingers. Clayman had granted him an ornate, expensive magic sword with the power to freeze its targets, earning him the nickname. In other words, there was no guessing what his latent skills were without that weapon. Yamza was commanding an army of some 30,000 Magicborn, all with varying levels of power. By Soei's estimation, around 4/5 were a solid B rank, and the rest were mostly A minus. There were a few solid A's at the top, but we're still talking Gelman level at best. That made him stronger and dicier than the Farmus army I annihilated, but still nothing to really break a sweat over. A little too weak, aren't they? Right now, the number of refugees we had taken in from the Beast Kingdom of Eurazania had surpassed 20,000. Around half, 10,000, were in fighting shape, each averaging a B rank, which went up to A minus after their beast transformation. It was a surprisingly powerful force. Even Farmus's most elite Knight Corps were likely to average a B, and that was with assorted magical enhancements placed on them. So it said a lot about how strong Eurazania's fighters were. Humans and beastmen were just different, down to the foundation. We had a big force of them, but Carrion's domain still had more on reserves. These were beastmen that the army recruited from nearby villages during the capital evacuation, only to have them spread out across the countryside. The most powerful officers of the Beastmasters Warrior Alliance had brought them back together, regrouped them, and sent them off to hide out at strategic points. Add their numbers up, and they, conservatively, amounted to over 10,000 themselves. Thus, we had a total of 20,000 A minus fighters on hand. Carrion really was a demon lord. What a force he'd had on him. It is strange, yes, Albus said. Yamza is undoubtedly a powerful Magicborn, but we three Beastketeers would never lose to him. And while his force outnumbers ours, we hold an overwhelming advantage in training and fighting ability. Yeah, agreed Phobio. If you want leadership, we got loads of it. Do they think that Lord Carrion died and we'd just fall over like trees to them? Sufia sniffed. No, Clayman can't be that much of a fool. All seemed to believe that Clayman's force wasn't that much of a threat. Benimara wasn't as sure. One moment, though. Could Clayman be aiming at something besides this town? Ah, yes, maybe we had the wrong idea. Everyone was always trying to hit this town first, so Ramirez sort of assumed Clayman was after me once more and flew on over. And here I was hoping we'd get to strike them from both sides once the army left Eurazania. The best laid plans and all that. So, are they marching for the Beast Kingdom? There are nothing but refugees left there, plus over 10,000 fighters. They may be better in combat, but Clayman's numbers could overwhelm them. Right. Soe reported that they were camped in Milam's domain for now, but they had already reorganized and were ready to head into Eurazania territory tomorrow or the next day. I didn't think they'd attempt a night march, but we need to factor that possibility into the equation too. I wonder if they were all aware at all that we are on the lookout for Clayman, Geld gravely stated. It wasn't so optimistic about that. Better to assume the worst than we can take action when it happens. But even if they are marching for this town, observed Murin, Clayman would never ignore danger from the rear. He would snuff out the source of that first before proceeding. Yeah, so would I actually, but snuff it out? What do you mean Clayman's intending to kill off all the or what do you mean? Clayman's intending to kill off all the fighters in the Beast Kingdom? And who can say if it was just the fighters?
Understood. I have predicted the actions of the Demon Lord Clayman. There is a 100% likelihood that he seeks to awaken himself to become a true Demon Lord. Because that bitch ain't one right now.
Yeah.
You see Rimuru he's having a serious meeting and then suddenly and they're like, the fuck?
Yes.
He's just sitting there. You know that bitch ain't worth it.
Yeah.
All right. However, to achieve this, he is likely taking this crude and uncertain tactic of hunting down all remaining life in the Beast Kingdom of Eurazania.
So genocide then. I'm a total hypocrite for saying this, but I can't say I'm a fan of his any means necessary approach.
Fucking Hitler.
Clayman never left. Yeah. Yeah.
Hitler-ass Demon Lord.
What does think he's doing? Harnessing the power of the sun to melt
Using the
people?
power of my unbelievable deduction skills, I have managed to account for all variables to come to 100% certainty that the Demon Lord Clayman is a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
You can't argue with the math.
It's important.
Yep. Clayman never left any stone unturned. I was sure he'd been observing the highway leading out from this town. The moment we sent out reinforcements, he would know. And even before that, Clayman is a master of intelligence gathering. I imagine he's aware that we Beastketeers and the main carry-on force have evacuated here. Even if we march for home right now, it would take 2 days at least. We've totally been given the slip, just as Alvis said. Clayman had read through it all. An army composed of what are normally B ranks wouldn't make it in time, even if they never stopped to rest. I was intending to invest all my troops in the fight as well, but by the time we reach the battle, the Beast Kingdom would be massacred already, I'm sure. But would that genocide be enough to make Clayman awaken?
Understood. Despite the lack of efficiency, he would be able to obtain a vast number of souls. Clayman's chances of awakening are 78%. This probability would rise if he is able to obtain more souls shortly afterward.
Ooh.
In
bad.
summation, he's a real bitch.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and that's where we're going to stop.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry we
Cool.
couldn't make it to the point where we needed to, but I needed to stop us there. And honestly, we're going to finish chapter 2 next week.
We're making pretty steady progress.
But we
so-
had plans at 10, and I don't mean to overlook them because I don't often get to play video games with Calvin.
Sorry, I didn't mean. I
especially
didn't know how to
Destiny.
do this.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much. I did do my exercises while we were reading at the end, and I would just like to say, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. Oh yeah, you missed it earlier. I was
Yeah.
like, if Tim ever gets lost in a crowd, you just start with that ladies and gentlemen of the congregation part, and you have to do it very enthusiastically. Like you have to go full bore, and
Yeah.
then you'll find him really easily. He'll be the one-man mosh put in the middle of the crowd. Just
see people
slapping
backing up
bitches left and
immediately.
right.
Just
Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. Yeah, look for the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing shim man.
oh, there he is, 50 feet away.
There he is.
Yep.
All right.
He's by the artist dealer or the artist gallery. And
All
the
right,
dealer's
guys.
room.
Remember, there is no D&D this Wednesday. It is instead going to be What the Fell. We will be playing Destiny 1.
D. Steiner.
Say it right.
D. Steiner.
Stone.
Say it right.
Destiny.
All right. Anyway.
Stein.
Now make sure you get it right, AA Ron. Before I send you to Oshak Hennessy's office. All right.
Yeah.
You mean Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Damn it.
Yeah. Good times.
Churlish. Anyway. Guys, thank you so much.
Yep.
We
Bye,
will
guys.
see you
Thank
next week for more slime. Once again, Fan Friday, you'll get to see Calvin and I again. We'll be doing the Minecraft stuff. If they haven't been updated yet, they should be very soon. I know Tony said today he was going to be working on the 3 Minecraft channels we need for the server. We're going to have an announcement page or an announcement channel that is just going to be for Calvin to post the Minecraft info about the server on. So, there's the important information like, hey, here's the server IP. You should know about that. Here are some of the things that we're using on the server if you'd like to use them as well. Server information, important updates, stuff like that. Then we will have the voice channel for the Minecraft server. And of course, we will have a Minecraft specific text channel for all of you to participate in as well. That having been said, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I will see you Saturday for more Mushoku Tensei as we continue into volume 11. Looks like by the time we end this next set, we'll be somewhere probably a little around half. Yeah, that should be fun. But that having been said, thank you all so much. Have yourself a good night, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye,
And
guys.
eat more cookies.
Very important to eat more cookies.